Good morning. Welcome back to Pajamalates. My name is Gina. If we haven't met before, I'm a Pilates instructor, and I've started Pajamalates so that we can get some quick movement in our comfy clothes on our mats. So this morning we are going to be doing an inner and outer thigh burn. It is going to be all on your mat. I am using my 2-pound BALA ankle weights to just make it a little spicier. Option to use body weight is always available to you. So go ahead, roll out your mat, and let's get started. Meet me on your left knee and left hand. Right leg is working to start here. You just lift and lower. It's a tiny lift, tiny lower for 8, 7, slight bend in that bottom elbow, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Holding it up. Sorry, there was a fuzz. Tiny circles going forward for 8, 7, 6, 5. It's a tiny movement. Last 2. We reverse in 1. Reverse that circle up, around, and back for 8, 7. Option to reach that top arm overhead. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Dropping that foot down. We're going to come onto that bottom hip. Resting your hand on your head, or our head can be rested on your bicep here. No matter what, I need you to be squeezing those obliques. That bottom oblique should nearly be lifted off the mat. Bottom knee is bent, top leg is nice and long. You're just going to sweep that leg forward, flex that heel, pressing it behind you. Feel that glute press back. Try not to roll your hips open as you sweep that leg back for 8, 7, 6, 5. Already feeling the burn, especially if you have those weights on. If not, I need you to really make that mind-body connection. Last 3, last 2. Last 1, hold that leg behind you, just pulls it up an inch, down an inch for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, we sweep it forward in 2, and 1, sweep forward, pulls up an inch, down an inch for 8, 7, stay on that bottom hip, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, don't drop that leg, sweep it so it's right back in line with your hip. You bend your knee in towards your elbow, flex your heel, pressing it out. Bending it in, point those toes, flex to press. Core is tight, try not to let those hips rock. Keeping your top hip stacked on top of the bottom. Breathe. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Keep that leg lifted, bending that knee. Bottom leg straightens out. Tap your top knee to the front of that leg, lifting up and over, tapping behind you. Rounding out that glute here, feeling those inner thighs light up. Breathe. 7. Again, try not to let those hips rock. 6, use that front hand for some support, help you with your balance. Last 5, 4, 3, 2. Last 1, placing that foot behind your bottom leg. I'm just gonna lift and lower that bottom leg up an inch, down an inch for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Try not to roll back on that hip. Just try to stay on that hip. Feel that bottom inner thigh working. Last 3, 2, and 1. Dropping that knee, bend that leg. Top knee comes into a 90 degrees. Toes are actively pointed. Lift those bottom toes up off the mat. Top leg extends out, bending it right back in. Keeping that bottom leg engaged for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, Last 2. And last one here, holding that bend, tapping those toes together. Top knee bends down to meet, top knee lowers down to meet the bottom for that clamshell for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Top leg is burning. Last 2. And 1. Lowering it down. Pound out that glute for a second. I hope you're feeling the burn as much as I am. And we switch it over to the other side. So coming up onto that bottom knee, bottom arm is on the mat, slight bend in that elbow, top leg is nice and long here. You lift and lower for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Don't let it drop. Tiny circles going forward for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We reverse it in 3, 2. Don't let it drop. Last one. Reverse that circle for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Dropping it down onto the mat. Top leg is nice and long. Remember, hips stack on top of each other here. We sweep that leg forward, flex to press it back. Squeeze that glute. Don't let those hips rock. It's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, holding it back, tiny pulses for 8. Keep those hips stacked at 7, 6. Press that leg 1 inch further. Last 4, 3. Don't let it drop. We sweep it forward in 2, and 1. Sweeping that leg forward. Tiny pulses for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sweep it so it's in line with your hip. You bend that knee in towards your elbow. Flex your heel, pressing it back. Inhale, bend it in. Exhale, flex. Feel those inner and outer thighs working. Feel that glute burning. Ooh, these legs are gonna be sculpted. Last 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Straightening out that bottom leg. Top knee taps forward. Lift up and back. Toes tap behind. Again, trying to keep those hips stacked here. Try not to let them roll open at 7, 6. Rounding out that glute for 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one here. Dropping that foot behind your front leg. Front leg is long. Tiny lift and lower here for 8. Again, keeping those hips stacked, facing the wall in front of you. It's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bending both knees. Top knee, lifting that bottom foot up off the mat. Top knee is in that 90 degrees. Inhale, lengthen that top leg out. Exhale, bending it right back to 90 for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, holding it here, tapping those toes together. Top knee bends down to, lowers down to meet the bottom. Wait for that clamshell for 8, 7, 6, 5. We're almost done, you guys. Last 4, last 3, last 2, and last one here. Lower it down, pound out that glute. Hopefully you're feeling those inner thighs burning. We're gonna finish out, just lay it down on your back. Feet are together, knees are together here. You're just gonna open your knees out into a diamond position, closing them back in. Opening it out, closing it back in for 8, 7. Core is working here to keep your back on the mat. Last 6, 5, 4, 3. Feel those inner and outer thighs working here. Last 2, and 1. Holding that diamond position, extend your legs straight out, bend them right back in for 8. Again, engaging that core. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, hold it out, just tap your heels together, feet are flexed for 8, 7, 6, 5. We finish out in 4, 3, 2, and hug it in. That is it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for tuning back into Pajamalates. If you enjoyed this workout, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, do all the things. And I will see you guys back on the mat tomorrow. Cheers.